Hello, I'm Kurt Rumens, President and General Manager of Travis Industries. Welcome to the House of Fire. Here's where we make the fabulous Lopi stoves, Avalon stoves, fireplace extraordinaire, and the custom Da Vinci fireplaces. In 1977, we had an idea how to improve a wood stove. There were three of us. We were friends, and we thought we could make a better wood stove. The oil embargo was going on. America was crazy for wood heat. I was a distributor selling someone else's wood stove at the time. I was 22 years old, and I gave a bunch of ideas that seemed aesthetic and seemed practical to improve the product that I was selling. And that manufacturer said, look, you're not an engineer. You're not even a draftsman. Take your ideas and keep them to yourself. Thank you, no thank you. I talked to a couple of friends and they liked the idea, so we started a company and we made up a word. We called it Lopi. It sounded wolfish, like the Lobo wolf, and Hopi like the Hopi Indian, and we kind of coined a word. And we had big plans for that little word. And here we are almost 40 years later, Travis Industries House of Fire. How did we get here? Well, it started with the dream. The dream hasn't changed. We thought we could do something better than the other guy. And that's all we've been doing for 40 years, is doing something better, making a better fire, making a more efficient fire, making a more aesthetic fire. And so what started out as a wood stove company has become wood, pellet gas, and 4 brands. We make Lopi, we make Fireplace Extraordinaire, Avalon, and this new product called the Da Vinci Custom Fireplaces. So they're all made here in Mukilteo, Washington at the House of Fire. This thing started out so small, and today the factory's 11 acres indoors. We have 500 employees. We build 2,000 stoves a week. But when we started with $600 and the notion that we could do something better than somebody else, and we can make an improvement, an advancement. And that's all we do. We keep advancing the art of fire. Dream and never give up on your dreams. And here we are, almost 4 decades later, building the most fabulous fireplaces, stoves in the world. And we're known throughout the world for building magnificent products. The emotion that keeps me going is fear. I fear I haven't done it good enough, or somehow they won't like this. We gotta just tweak it a little bit more. We gotta get that flame a little bit higher. We gotta get that efficiency number. I really want to see people light up and smile when they experience our products. So it's kind of funny. Yeah, we're confident that we make beautiful stuff and we're proud of it, but every time we come out with a new release, I'm afraid that we get it just right. And I'm watching these customers as they come into our trade shows, and I watch their faces, I watch their body language, and I can tell, that one's spot on. We nailed it. You can tell the way they talk to each other, you can tell the way they light up when they stand in front of a fireplace. But you keep on listening to your customers. You keep in contact with the people that install them, people that sell them, and people that ultimately live with them. And if you can do that, you remain true to the product because it's not just your idea, it's your interpretation of what people really need and want. We're an American manufacturer. I started the company years ago and sold it to a gentleman from Spokane. And his background is manufacturing. And it's funny, we thought we were pretty good until we met this guy, Travis. As we make things, we look, how can we Travis-size this process? Meaning, if you've got a person standing there watching a machine do an automated process, what added value could that person bring to the equation? So we've got a silly drill press next to an automated computer-controlled punch press. So while he's waiting for the part to come out of the press, he can drill a few holes in that part. So we keep the whole process going. We have to be efficient to be located here in Washington and to actually compete with products made the world over. So we ship to all points in North America. We ship our products to Australia. We ship them to Japan. But to be a leader in the hearth market in America, you've got to give great value. You've got to have more features at a price point. That requires us to be very clever and make sure we understand the manufacturing process like no one else in the world. But we make about 2,000 stoves a week. That adds up to 5 million pounds of cast iron a year we use. That's 30 million pounds of steel. And it's just thousands of little components. Right now, every day we schedule and build 35,000 parts in our sub-assembly departments as they feed the lines to make that many wood stoves. So there's a lot of glass, there's a lot of iron, there's a lot of steel going on. And then you take that work and you go out to the marketplace. We have 1,000 locations throughout the United States that represent us. There's 3 to 10 people in every store. There's about 5,000 to 6,000 people employed making these wonderful fireplaces, selling these fireplaces, installing these fireplaces. So it's a family kind of event where, yes, it's business, and yes, we're a very well-run business, but it's more like a giant big family. We have second-generation people now running the stores. Here in the factory, we've got the next generation, our children, factory supervisors, factory welders. Their kids are now coming up and they're making a contribution in design or fit and finish or quality control. We don't sell to any of the box stores or any of the large wholesale companies, wholesale to the public. We work with specialty hearth dealers. We make a very specialized product. It needs to be installed correctly. It needs to be run correctly. And so these guys have very specialized knowledge. We've got from Booth Bay Harbor, Maine to San Diego, we've got about 1,000 stores engaged in the sale, installation, and service of these specialty type wood, gas, and pellet products. Over the course of our history of 40 years, we've installed a little over 1.5 million fireplaces in homes in North America. So it's a lot of gathering places, it's a lot of romance, it's a lot of saving energy, and it's a lot of fun. When asked what my favorite product is, because we make so many cool products, my answer is always the same. It's the next one. What's next? In our industry, we have an award called the Vesta Award. The Vestal Virgins were charged with keeping the fires burning in ancient Rome. That's an award given out each year. They have the best of each category, they have the top in the industry, and this is international. They have the best gas burning appliance, the best wood burning appliance, the best pellet burning appliance. Then they have overall best of show. And we've won that about 20 times. We've won category awards and best of show awards. One of the most significant milestones of recognition we got was from Popular Science magazine. It was at a trade show, and the editors for Popular Science were looking at the new technology from the industry. I showed them a product we call the Ambrifier. Ambrifier was a way to burn gas a little differently, where we had a ceramic substrate. We mixed the fuel and the oxygen underneath it, and as it came up to the ceramic, it started superheating. The ceramic started glowing. The ceramic material used in the logs, which simulated logs, was glowing, and we had this rich, lazy yellow and orange flame. You could not distinguish that presentation of fire from a real wood fire, and yet we're in the high 70s, low 80s for efficiency. Never been done before. Up to that point, the gas fireplaces weren't that popular with consumers because there was a lot of visible blue flames, and it looked contrived. And when we developed the Ambrifier technology, all of a sudden, the lights went on for consumers going, man, I'd love to have this in my home. But when Popular Science saw it, I challenged one of the editors. He was a little standoffish, saying, I've seen it all before. And so I said, well, can I show you our new technology? He goes, not interested, I've seen it. I said, well, I'll make you a bet. Dinner for 2 at Morton's. You can't pick out the wood stoves from the gas stoves on my display. He goes, I'll take that bet, of course I can. He was wrong. He picked the gas fire twice incorrectly. And I hit it with a remote control, turned it off. He goes, how does this work? What is it? So it got his attention. We had fun with it. We showed him the technology. We had a great show. We won some awards that year within our industry. About 6 months later, we get an invitation. Come to the Tavern on the Green in Manhattan. We have our annual top 100 products of the year as determined by Popular Science magazine, and you guys won the household category. So we were there with the leaders in aviation, medical, automotive, and they gave the Ambrifier burner the top 100 category in the world. And we're proud as peacocks going, man, this is the Ambrifier burner, Manhattan, check it out. We have had an exciting history and legacy of designing breakthrough technology and designing the most beautiful stoves, the most beautiful fireplaces in the world. I'm in the final testing stages for the DaVinci custom fireplaces. Around me are various fireplaces that are being tested before they get shipped out of here. Each one of these fireplaces was custom designed for a particular home or business. The unique thing about these fireplaces is they're cool to the touch. They're comfortable. There's a curtain of air drop down between the fire and myself, keeping these temperatures, outside temperatures, what we call a safety touch glass. You can bring combustible materials down to the edge of the glass, TVs above it, and any size, from the giants behind me, 5 foot tall, to small ones 12 inches tall, up to 20 feet long. The DaVinci custom fireplaces are one of a kind. We've developed things that were thought unachievable in terms of emissions reduction or high efficiencies. In fact, we have fun when we do this. We have a lot of fun. We brought one of our new wood stoves to an international trade meeting. We knew the EPA was going to be there, and we wanted to showcase this product because it was so cutting edge. There's new standards being promulgated, which will drive the emissions numbers allowable from wood stoves way down below their current numbers significantly. And yet we had developed technology that was 1/10 of the proposed standard. 10% of the proposed standard. We had it certified and we brought it to this trade show. We didn't even make an announcement, we didn't promote it, and we were there lying low in the high weeds waiting for the EPA to come by. And when they did, they walk up and they go, "What have you got here?" I said, "Well, we got a wood stove that actually does these 3 things." They're going, "Well, that's not possible." I said, "Well, it's actually possible. It was certified in one of the approved laboratories, and here are the numbers, and here's the stove. Let me turn it on for you." Turn it on, you push a button, electronic ignition starts a wood stove. It was an amazing thing. That year, we got the Green Award. It was a very coveted award for what is the most ecologically progressive product. It was a wood stove. People think of wood as being dirty and not responsible, but it's a renewable fuel, and if you burn it responsibly, it's a fabulous way to heat a home or enjoy a fire. So we've got what we call a hybrid stove, which we use some catalytic combustors. We use a combination of turbulence time to generate enough mixing of the gases, elevate the temperature, and we get this stove that's 0.45 grams of emissions per hour. It's a large stove, the glass stays clean, single control, so the consumer never gets it wrong. And that is the state of the art. So where are we going? Wow, we've arrived. Now we gotta let people know what's here. There's some technology now that was thought to be totally undoable just a few short years ago. We've been on a path for the last 4 decades to create more environmentally friendly products, lower the emission, increase the efficiency. So whatever energy we're using, whether it's wood or a wood pellet or gas, we're using it efficiently. On behalf of all the employees and all the stores that carry our fine products, we want to thank you for your support and invite you to come and see how the world's greatest fireplaces and stoves are hand-built here in Mukilteo, Washington.